Hi everyone, welcome to this presentation on Perch, which is a camera-based system that allows for velocity-based training, jump testing, as well as programming and full spectrum data analysis in those areas as well. My name is Cedric Unholtz and I'm the Senior Sports Scientist at Perch, and I'm really excited to present to you today. I'd like to thank you all very much for your time in joining this talk, and of course a big thank you to the Polish Ministry of Sport, the Akademia Trenerska, and the Polish Institute of Sport for hosting this conference and allowing us to present our system to you. It's a really a huge pleasure and an honor. To begin things, I'd like to start with highlighting our company vision and our commitment. So our mission at Perch is to continuously work on developing the best possible training data collection system, and with that provide a one-stop solution for coaches to provide the optimal care and training outcomes for their athletes by using the most powerful data on the market to help support any decisions that need to be made. So part of our commitment is also the care and attention that we place on providing the best possible support and service to our clients, no matter who the client is. So it's something that we take really great pride in, and we always strive to deliver complete excellence and industry-leading standards in this. So this is backed up by the hundreds of elite sporting organizations that currently trust in the Perch system, and the ones that we work with across the world in every major sport. And in this slide, I've included a small sample of some major organizations that we work with in the United States. And to give you a bit of a reference, we currently work with half of the NFL, more than 100 US colleges, and over 30 professional teams in the United States alone. So before diving into a closer look on how we incorporate AI and machine learning into the Perch system, I wanted to give a brief overview of the various components of the platform first to help provide some context when we take a closer look at the engine of the system. So the one system solution that the Perch system provides is very much conceptualized from the three major areas that we found support coaches the most when looking at sport training technology, and when taking into account the demands of modern sport and leading methodologies in athlete training, prescription, and management. So within this construct, a system needs to provide both efficient and reliable training data, and also live feedback to the athlete. It needs to be easy to implement and use without creating obstacles or slowing down the actual training process. So not just for the coaches, but also the athletes on the gym floor. And it has to allow for rapid and digestible analysis, so including report creation and leveraging the collected data to provide the most powerful insights possible, so that daily athlete readiness can be continuously assessed and that training can always be optimized and adjusted to individual needs by using valid objective data to guide daily prescriptions. So an important logistical component within this construct is also the ability for a coach to efficiently create training plans that can also be adapted based on the daily needs of an athlete, and then be able to schedule these directly to individuals, which makes the training and data collection process as efficient as possible, which ultimately also just gives time back to coaches and athletes. So at Perch, we've created the solution by developing our three core pillars within the system, which we call train, which is the velocity-based training and the on-the-floor data collection component; evaluate, which is the jump testing and readiness assessment portion of the system; and plan, which is our full end-to-end programming platform that allows both workout and program creation, as well as the ability to schedule everything directly to the individual athlete. So the Perch system consists of both hardware and software components that are fully integrated with each other to provide the end-to-end solution that I just outlined. And this also enables the optimal user experience on the gym floor itself, but also on the back end within our online training management dashboards. From a hardware perspective, the central component is the camera system itself, which is what is used to collect all the training data. So cameras are usually mounted on a training rack to allow data collection for lifting, for both barbell and non-barbell based movements, and jump testing as well. So the camera can also be used in what we call ground mode, which allows a coach to position the camera in another area of the gym away from the rack to allow data collection that way as well. So an example here would be, for example, using the camera to set up a jump testing station in another part of the gym away from where the squat racks are. The camera is then linked with an iPad or a tablet, which is what the athlete interacts with on the floor, meaning that if the camera's on the rack, it's literally a set and forget system where no direct interaction with the camera is ever needed and data collection is automatic. So this, of course, provides a maximally efficient setup because there's no tethers, there's no strings, there's no wearables that need to be used or positioned for data collection. So from a software perspective, we have the main products I outlined earlier, which are seamlessly integrated within both the training app used on the gym floor and in our online training management system, where all the programming and data analysis can be performed. So this means a fully automatic data collection process, as well as the transfer of that data to the cloud without the need for any manual data entry. So the three components here, as mentioned, are the train, evaluate, and plan suites in order to provide that full end-to-end capability to collect data, to motivate and drive intent in athletes for every repetition, and then allow the coach to be able to perform comprehensive analysis of all the training data at any time and instantly. So what this all results in is a highly efficient workflow and also a really efficient and easy user experience for both coaches and every athlete, which saves time. It allows for very easy collection of the highest possible quality of training data. And it also enables rapid and just really actionable communication across all training support staff, sports coaches, and of course the athletes themselves as well. So following on from the quick overview of the Perch system, its components and how the system is set up in order to provide the best possible training support, I'd like to move on to take a closer look at what is actually under the hood and in the heart of Perch. So in this, we'll explore how at Perch we utilize AI and machine learning concepts and principles to allow us to continuously refine the quality of data that we provide and also drive the future innovation of the system, which is something we're always working on. And as part of this, I'll also give a few examples of current new developments that have been inspired by and are a direct result of our implementation of these neural networks that we have within our system, as well as give you a preview of some of the powerful features we're working on to leverage our capabilities within this area even more in the near future. So looking at a computer vision overview, the 3D cameras like used in the Perch system can work in a variety of ways, but in the end, they all generate an image that represents distance from the camera. So using other sensors present in the Perch system alongside the camera, we can figure out not only how far away the objects are, but also how they're moving in relation to gravity. So this is really, really important when trying to track movements and report accurate statistics. So using our 3D camera, Perch measures position and displacement directly. So this leads to us being able to track displacement and velocity with ease and a really high degree of accuracy. So logically, the first step in tracking something using a camera is to find it and to see it. So this is where Perch employs some of its most sophisticated technology. So for this, the Perch system uses a custom-trained neural network to perform image segmentation and also some classification. So you can almost think of this image segmentation as painting every pixel in the image with a color that corresponds to an object that the Perch system is looking for. So these objects include parts of the human body, parts of the barbell, and other objects such as dumbbells. So using these pixels, Perch uses sophisticated computer vision algorithms to reconstruct the scene and objects within it in order to track their trajectories over time, which we can see an example of in this slide. So to give a bit of a background, in order to create this neural network in the first place, Perch had to collect and label thousands and thousands of frames of depth videos in countless different weight rooms using all sorts of different kinds of equipment. So in 2016, when our founders started Perch, almost no one in the world was doing this kind of machine learning, which uses convolutional neural networks on depth images, let alone trying to run them in real time on an embedded computer. So still today, in 2024, Perch remains one of the few companies in the world doing all of this in one closed loop package. So all that aside, using these objects identified in the image, as we can see in the example picture on the slide, the Perch system can then perform more advanced processing in order to create and output final results and what someone actually sees when receiving the live feedback. So after the objects have been recognized and turned into trajectories, Perch then uses advanced signal processing and custom rep tracking algorithms to recognize the movements in their important sections. So with these movements then recognized, the system can instantly compute all the statistics our customers use and display them to the user instantly. So the most exciting and often easily overlooked part of this process is how Perch actually feeds this contextual information about the scene into the rep tracking stage. So knowing information about not only what lift is being performed, but where the objects Perch tracks are in relation to one another, this really reduces the number of missed, false or ghost reps or incorrect reps. So what this means is that this makes Perch essentially industry leading in its ability to track compound movements, such as the Olympic lifts. So granted, choosing to track barbells using 3D cameras and computer vision was not the simplest approach by any means, but at Perch, we chose that path because of the flexibility and the development potential, the future potential it provides. So over the last 6 years, Perch has always kept the promise of consistently building huge improvements, new capabilities, and even launching completely new products. So all of this development has been performed on top of the same original hardware platform that Perch was initially built on. So the two examples of this that we can see on the slide are both very recent, but this kind of progress has been constant over the entire history of the company, and we're going to be continuing this moving forward. So the first example is the release of Evaluate, which is our brand new jump assessment product. And the second example is our most recent safety bar tracking software update, which we actually just released a few days ago. So both of these updates, which are enormous achievements in their own ways, have been successfully pushed out to even our oldest and our most loyal customers running, I guess, what could be called very ancient Perch cameras. So what that means is that cameras from 2018 all the way to 2024 cameras have all received these incredible improvements and new capabilities with just a quick software update. So as mentioned in my introduction, at Perch, we're committed to making the best possible product for the weight room, and it's not just a promise. So these kind of developments and our actions really show that we mean this deeply. The next area I'd like to present on is an example of some of our recent releases that further leverage our implementation of the Perch neural network. So over the last 8 years, Perch has collected a huge amount of performance data from some of the most elite athletes in the world. So what's very, very clear is that no matter which coaches and organizations we interact with, there's always a need for consistent and easier and faster tools for understanding athlete data. So this realization led us to start down the path of automatic profiling. So right now in the Perch platform, we are automatically updating load velocity and power load profiles for every athlete on every exercise after each session in the weight room. So this essentially means never needing to schedule formal testing days because profiles are automatically generated from all selected training data, which means that the coach always has the most up-to-date picture of the performance characteristics of their athletes. So we required some really advanced data analysis techniques to figure out exactly how to generate these profiles from everyday lifts as opposed to controlled testing data. But we knew that we had to solve it to create a product that every coach could use to leverage performance data being collected as powerfully as possible. And then to close off this presentation, I wanted to give a quick preview of what's next for us in terms of near future development within the system to build on the concepts that we've explored in the previous slides. So we believe that what I've already outlined is just the beginning of an extremely exciting new development path for us. The next steps are going to be going even further to enable coaches to compare athletes and their data, see how they're changing over time, and most importantly, evaluate if their training is having the right impact on their athletes, which enables coaches to make informed decisions about how to adapt individual training prescription in the most efficient and effective ways possible. So two major developments to enable this are going to be the addition of what we call dynamic goals, as well as more advanced analysis and reporting capabilities with some new metrics that we're currently working on. And these metrics look to leverage an athlete's developmental data from across their entire load velocity profile, and then also use our neural network to continuously iterate on and refine this data to maximize the insight potential. So what we can see in this picture on the slide is a bit of a teaser and one potential route we're considering developing. So this is to allow coaches to more easily generate these advanced types of analysis insights. So in the red box, you can see an individual athlete's progression profile for a single lift across 9 months of training. And in this graph, we can see individual trend lines for their strength and velocity development, but also the overall progress they've made across their entire load velocity curve as a whole. So this then allows just a really easy way to compare individual progress across a time window against a previous specific baseline, which we can see in the green box, and also enable just really instant insights as to where the athlete ranks relative to the rest of the team or predefined groups, which we can see in the yellow box. So we're really, really excited to be working on these developments. As I mentioned, it's just a bit of a teaser, but this is kind of the path that we're looking to go. And yeah, we're really looking forward to sharing these and much more developments from Perch with you very soon. So that's the end of the presentation. I wanted to thank you all again for your time and interest around the Perch system. Once again, I'd like to say a really deep thank you to the Polish Ministry of Sport, the Akademia Trenerska, and the Polish Institute of Sport for giving us this opportunity to share this with you all. I've included our website address as well as my contact should you have any follow-up questions, or if you'd like to learn more about the Perch system and how we may be able to support your training. So thank you again. Wishing you a great day. See you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.